When my mom died, I thought I'd finally be free of her cruelty, until I found the letter she left me. When people talk about losing their mother, they use words like grief, ache, and emptiness. When mine died, all I felt was quiet. No sobbing, no anger, no relief either, just an eerie, still kind of silence inside me. Like I'd been holding my breath for years and suddenly remembered how to exhale. I was 33 when the call came. A nurse from a hospital in upstate New York told me that my mother, Margaret Harlow, had suffered a heart attack and passed away in her sleep. The nurse's voice was calm and practiced. I could tell she'd made this call hundreds of times. I thanked her, hung up, and sat there in my office, staring at the muted blue light of my computer screen. It was a Thursday. I still had emails to send, invoices to approve. I didn't cry instead. I opened a new spreadsheet. Old habits die hard. It wasn't until an hour later, when my coworker Danielle walked in and saw my face, that I said the words out loud. My mom's dead. She froze. Oh my God, Claire, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? I nodded too fast, too eager to look fine. I'm okay. It's complicated because it always was. The thing about being raised by someone like my mother is that you learn to read silence the way other kids read bedtime stories. Every quiet moment could explode. Every smile could turn sharp. Growing up, I was never sure which version of her I'd get. The charming church volunteer who baked pies for neighbors, or the cold-eyed woman who'd pour the same pie into the trash if I forgot to thank her the right way. My dad had died when I was 8. Car accident. After that, it was just her and me, or rather, her, and whoever she decided I was supposed to be that day. When I got straight A's, she'd say, don't get cocky. When I got a B, she'd say, you could have done better. When I won a scholarship, she told me, you think this makes you special? You're still nobody. I stopped trying to impress her around 15. I moved out the day I turned 18, packed everything I owned into a duffel bag, got on a bus and didn't look back. She didn't call, didn't write. I sent her postcards from college, trying to bridge that impossible gap, but she never responded. Until one day, she did. I still remember that envelope. My name written in her perfect cursive. Inside was a single sheet of paper. Stop embarrassing yourself. You don't need me. I laughed when I read it. Then I cried harder than I had since Dad's funeral. So when the hospital called 15 years later, saying she was gone, I didn't know what I was supposed to feel. There was no next of kin, just me, no family to call, no cousins, no siblings. The nurse said they'd found a will, a small house upstate, paid off, and something else. There's a letter for you, she added gently. She left instructions that it be given to you personally. My heart sank. Of course she did. I flew out that weekend. The town was small, barely a dot on the map. Pine Hollow, population maybe 2,000. The kind of place where people still waved at passing cars and everyone knew who owned the local diner. Her house sat at the end of a gravel road surrounded by tall pines. The shutters were faded, the porch sagging, but it was neat, too neat. The lawn trimmed, the mailbox polished, the front door freshly painted white. It looked like she'd been expecting me. Inside, everything was exactly how I remembered. The lace curtains, the smell of lavender and lemon polish, the framed picture of my father on the mantel, his smile forever gentle and kind. I half expected her to appear from the kitchen, hands on hips, demanding to know why I hadn't called before showing up. But the only sound was the clock ticking on the wall. The lawyer had told me the letter would be on her desk. Sure enough, in her office, the same room she'd always kept locked from me as a kid, was a sealed envelope with my name written across it in that familiar, perfect cursive. Claire. No, dear, no love, just my name. For a long moment, I couldn't touch it, because deep down, I knew whatever was inside would hurt. It always did. I sat in her old chair. It still smelled faintly of her perfume, that expensive floral scent she never let me borrow. I stared at the envelope until my vision blurred. Then I tore it open. Inside was a folded sheet of stationery, and a small brass key taped to the bottom corner. The letter was handwritten. No date. Claire, if you're reading this, then I've already passed. I imagine you're angry. That's fine. You always were. I know I wasn't the mother you wanted, but you weren't the daughter I expected either. You were too much like him, your father, always chasing dreams instead of facing reality. There are things you don't know, things I've kept from you because I didn't think you could handle them. But now you deserve to know. The full story on my channel, link below.